Let's go to San Francisco, and speak to Volkan Sevilgen, who is the Chief Technology Officer, also co-founder of Temblor. It's a catastrophe modeling company which specializes in seismic risk assessment. Volkan, I remember speaking to you, I believe it was either February the 6th or February the 7th. And obviously your expertise at that time was looking at what happened. And here we are 1 year later. But if you don't mind, let's go back to February the 6th. And the amount of debris, the United Nations said, if you piled it 1 meter high, it would cover a 10 by 10 square kilometer area. In other words, 100 square kilometers, which is bigger than Manhattan. What are the dangers of that kind of debris in terms of the future use of the land?
That's a very good question. And part of the reason why this earthquake created such damage is because the site amplifications, the soft soil, the sediments, the alluvial sediments created a very large shaking underneath the cities, which obviously, in a way, helped the way to create that destruction. And after the destruction is removed, what we are seeing, especially in Antakya region, the city is essentially turned into rubble. And it's a very good question how these debris is removed and how this debris is treated. But obviously, people who would be more attuned for this problem would be the health officials rather than seismologists like myself, because obviously rubble like that create significant health hazards such as asbestos and the potential lung cancer risks. So when the things like that remove the debris, usually people have to wear protective masks, and the building has to be somewhat covered. It's a very specialized endeavor for these kind of demolitions. But if the earthquake demolished the cities for you, obviously you don't have a chance of doing any of that.
Is it possible to secure land in terms of trying to make it more, resilient towards tremors? Or is it really just about the building that goes on that land and future-proofing the building itself?
There are ways to treat the ground. In other words, you could be in a liquefaction zone or soft soil. There are ways to remedy a lot of these issues, but they're expensive, and sometimes they might fail. But more importantly, the idea is you have to build a right type of constructions in the right kind of soil. So if you don't follow the rules, or if you don't adhere to scientific principles, the result is essentially given. It will be a disaster. So we need to first understand the ground well, and then design the structure or the city according to that ground, and build these structures in the adhering the seismic codes, the building codes, and inspect the buildings to make sure they're all code compliant. But let me tell you one important thing here about this earthquake that we discovered, both in this earthquake and the Japanese earthquake last month. What we are discovering now is when you are very close to fault, when you are very close to earthquake, the building are actually shaking a lot larger than we or seismologist community first assumed. So what that means is a lot of the building codes are in place right now. Even if your building is compliant to that, it's probably going to sustain much larger shaking that building code expects. So that creates a hidden danger that we need to address quite quickly. As we are building new structures, we also need to make sure that they will stand when the next earthquake comes.
Absolutely. Volkan Sevilgen, thank you very much indeed, Volkan.